What is up, guys? Today we're back with another process serving tutorial. Today the topic is going to be return of services, or affidavit of service, or proof of service, or whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing. I've been getting a lot of comments about doing a video specifically on this, so here it is. We're going to cover what needs to be in it, who you need to send it to, where to find a template, and how to operate it inside of ServeManager. But before we get started, I do want to thank ServeManager, who's sponsoring not only this video, but this entire series of videos. ServeManager.com is an online subscription service for process servers. Inside ServeManager, you can put all your services in. It even geotags your location for any of your attempts or completed services. It gives peace of mind to your clients so they know that you are out there attempting and completing their services. ServeManager also helps with the after service, such as return of services, which is what today's video is all about. Click on the link in the description below. It will send you to ServeManager.com's website. It is an affiliate link. That is where you can sign up for your 14-day free trial. I've had great luck with it thus far and will continue to use it. Okay, let's talk about return of services. Okay, so what is a return of service? A return of service is a receipt, basically. That's the simplest way to explain what it is. So whenever you submit this paperwork to the court, it is a receipt saying, I served this person at this date and time and location. You sign it, it's a legal document that says, I did what this paperwork says I did. So each service you complete must be accompanied with a return of service, affidavit of service, proof of service. There's several names for it. They're all the same thing. What I'm going to go over here today is what Utah requires. Another state may require more or less, but I would say this is probably a good starting point because the information that my template contains, I would say is pretty standard. We'll go through mine, explain what it all means, and talk about the contents of it. So here we are. So inside my template, I have taken in bold letters and just put return of service right at the top, right? We want to know what it is, and anybody that looks at this paperwork is going to look right there in the middle and see it's a return of service. Directly below that, I will add the court, the address, and the phone number of that court. Then you go over here to the left. We have our plaintiff. Make sure you put the plaintiff, their name. In this circumstance, it's Equitable Finance, but if it's a private person that's having you serve a summons for them, you'll just have their name, their address, but you got to make sure you denote that they are the plaintiff. Directly below that, we'll have this individual with his address, and below that we have defendant right there. So it's pretty clear of who's the plaintiff, who is the defendant. Over here a little bit more towards the middle, we have a case number. Now that case number is going to obviously be different for each service you complete. However, on the court date here, let's say from Equitable Finance, I end up with 15 services in a bundle. I come home, I get some of them served. Well, the court date's going to remain the same on probably all of those, but the court case number will not. And that can get very confusing. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Next line down, to be received by Brett Bateman to be served on John Doe. The received by is obviously going to be the person serving the paperwork. So if it's you, your name will go there. If it's your employee or your 1099 contractor that's helping you out, their name will go there. That is the name of the person actually serving the paperwork. Then obviously right here is the name of the person who the paperwork is being served upon. Go down another few lines. There he goes. I, Brett Bateman, myself, do hereby affirm that on the 1st of October 2019 at 6:10 p.m., I personally served by delivering a true copy of the. So obviously right here is going to be when you served them, date and time, when you served them. I personally served by delivering a true copy of the. Now right here is where you pop in what it was that you served. Bench warrant, there we go. Whatever your paperwork you served, that's where it goes in. Now if you if you served a small claims affidavit and summons, but it was actually a bench warrant, and you put the wrong thing in there, the courts will reject that. It's got to be very specific and it's got to be accurate. With the date and hour of service endorsed thereon by me. 2. Now what I've got as an example right here. This is a very important part of this return of service. Let's say John Doe, I served his wife Jane, because John wasn't home, he was at work, we'll say. So that is legal. In Utah, you can serve somebody who resides with that person. Doesn't necessarily have to be a family member. It has to be somebody who lives with them. So it can be a roommate, as long as they live with them. So in this case, let's say I served Jane, the wife. She does live there. So I placed to Jane, John's wife, who resides, right there, resides. That is a key word. If if you don't put that, I've had courts kick back my return of services because they want that verbiage in it. Who resides with an important bit of verbiage at their address in Ogden, Utah. And informed the said person of the contents therein, which means that's the part when you said, hey, my name is Brett, I'm a process server, I have a court summons for John. He's gonna wanna read through it, court date's in the back. That's what that means, is that you told that person what you have for them and what it contains. It's a court summons. You go down a few more lines and you have this little bit here. What that is that you declare by signing this return of service means what you say in it is true and correct under penalty of law. So basically, if you're lying and you sign this, you understand that you could be held criminally responsible for that. So you certainly don't want to lie in court documents, right? I mean, that's pretty common sense, I would say. If you don't serve it, don't put it on there. If it didn't happen, don't make a return of service. Moving on. I have a line here with my name on it and a signature spot. So you will sign this form and make sure it gets emailed or hand delivered to the court and to your client. Once you complete this version, and once again, this is just like a Word document, in my case, a text edit document on my Mac, you hit File, and you're gonna wanna export it as a PDF. You can see up there, I've got ROS late and equitable, so I know what it is. So now it just converted it to a PDF from a Word file. I bring it up, there it is in a PDF. And you want the PDF because you don't want anybody to be able to alter the information you put on this return of service, because it's a legal document you signed. You signed it as it is now. You don't want somebody to alter that. So I'll come up here to Tools, Annotate, Signature. I'm the one who served it, so I find my signature. I'll take it, I'll drag it down here, I'll make it look nice, make it look like it fits. There it is. I exit out of it, and then I take that file and I email it to my client and I email it to the courts. So they now have a signed digital copy in their email, and I have a record of when I sent it because it's going to be in my outbox in my email. But that's how I did it in the olden days. I've since switched, obviously, with ServeManager.com. Since I've been using them, they've got a quite a bit simpler method that completely eliminates mistakes, and it's a lot faster, especially on a day when you get back from serving 10 or 15 services. You could sit here for hours and hours just deleting info on your form and putting in the new info, converting it to a PDF, sending it off, going back to this form, deleting all that, putting the new person's info in. It takes hours. I mean, it eats up a lot of your day. So with ServeManager, when you input your service originally into the program, it stores all that information. So when you come back to it in this case and want to do a return of service, it will take that information that you originally inputted and it will autofill a return of service. Obviously that's instant, it's quick and fast, a lot easier than deleting and redoing a bunch of information. It will autofill that one. So here's one right here. I have obviously got the name and the address blurred out. This is an actual one I've done. So you'll click right here on New Affidavit. And it will bring you to this one. As you can see, this looks just like the one I came up with, and they were able to get my template in here. There is a small fee for that, but it's worth it because now it's my layout, my template. When I look through it and make sure everything's there, I know what I'm looking for. So here we have mine. It's got all the information that I needed auto-filled into it, case number, court date and time, names, where they were served. All I've got to do is add my service fee and sign it and save it. And it's a digital signature, sign and save, and then you share it with the courts and it will go to the client as well. The nicest part about this is the accuracy and the speed. So with my other method, too many times I would send one, you'd just get in a rhythm of doing them, and you'd miss something. I'd send them all off to the court till the next day. I'd get an email from the court saying, hey, you sent me a return of service that has the wrong case number on it, or it's got 2 different people's names on it, or it's got the wrong address on it. And it was because I was in a rhythm and I had accidentally missed a few lines, important lines in 1 or 2 of them. Then you have to redo the entire one that you messed up on. It's a pain, and it's just inaccurate. And it's awfully unprofessional to be sending the court inaccurate information.
So with the doing it right here in ServeManager, it just streamlines that to the point where there's no mistakes and it's quick autofill, instant, you send it off, and it's just made a big difference in my workflow. So I do recommend doing it this way. Guys, I hope that was informative for you. I hope you got out of it what you hope to get out of it. If there's any bit of that return of service that is not clear, drop me a comment. I'm happy to respond to them. Guys, that's it for me. I appreciate you checking out the video, and happy hunting on your services. Go get them.